Tracy and I were actually met because our children went to the same school. They were in the same class. This project was something that we were actually working on for the school. Myself and some puppets sort of exploring the world of artists and their masterpieces. And then it was actually my wife's idea to talk to Tracy and get him involved.
I think they both are, one in a million talents. I really do.
When Brian, approached me with this project and asked me if I was interested, I was immediately interested. Anything that he was doing, I'd be interested in.
And then suddenly it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There are masterpieces, these recognizable things, these iconic images that have been around for centuries and centuries. These works of art that are separated from all the other artists of the time and all the other artworks.
And so now I'm kind of trying to imagine, the music. I go, okay, well, who is this guy? What is his personality like? What does he sound like? How does he move?
Why is this piece, or has this piece transcended everything? And this is sort of what we're exploring. A piece of bread, some coffee, listen to the stars. Listen to the moon. I am that lonely tree, silhouetted by the sky, strong and all alone. I am that whirling cloud, twisted and torn, disappearing in the sky. I had made Vincent van Gogh with both ears, and without the bandage. I took some, plaster wrap. That sort of had the right look I wanted to create his bandage. And so as I was mixing the plaster wrap, and I had him hanging there, ready to put the plaster wrap off, his ear just popped off on its own, just came off, just fell on the floor. This is one of those great moments. Again, you say, well, I must be doing something right.
What Brian does, the only way really to describe it is magical. It inspires me musically, and he seems to channel my music visually.
I think someone with Brian's talent comes along about once every 500 years. He works in charcoal, he works in watercolor, he writes shows, he composes music, he plays the piano, he can balance a chair on his nose, he knows sleight of hand, he juggles. I probably have left 4 or 5 out.
It's about creativity. What made all of these artists make this work? What drove them? Why? We know what it is, but I'm really interested in the why of it. Why was Michelangelo so driven to create this amazing piece? And it wasn't only the challenge of showing off to Da Vinci, who said you couldn't make anything worthwhile out of this particular block of marble.
There's something inside the rock. There's something inside, if you will listen.
But what was beneath and behind that? Why did he choose that subject and present him in that way? What did it mean? And what was he saying about us?
Tracy has worked on this piece called Red Poppy. The glory in the simplicity of this red poppy. This is something that Tracy does very well. He can find ways of storytelling with music and take it in directions that are new and surprising.
having answers is not really important. Searching for answers, dreaming of possibilities. How can we get into the air? How can we make a man fly? How do I make the world see this flower the way I see it?
Well, of course, there's Van Gogh, there's Matisse, there's Picasso, Georgia O'Keeffe. We're even talking about Warhol and going in that direction. Rembrandt,
Salvador Dali, Da Vinci, of course.
Monet.
I think we're going to do maybe water lilies. I've got some ideas of doing some interesting stuff musically with that. I mean, we could go on, forever because there's so many artists. The hardest thing is deciding who not to use.
It can grow. It can grow. It can go in many different directions.
All Tracy needs to be on stage is wood, his wooden violin. All Brian needs is his wooden puppet. The piece of art is coming to life in front of you.
What it seems like to me it's coming down to is this idea of the imagination, finding that imagination, letting your imagination direct you. Every one of those artists was able to do that. That's what makes the difference between a masterpiece and all of the things that lead up to the creation of that masterpiece.